Hey everybody. So for some reason, the originally recorded intro to this video got, well, not recorded. Must have bumped photo instead of video, wasn't paying attention. And so here is a substitute lead-in, but essentially what you're about to watch is the Audi C5 up on the quick jack, and we're gonna see if the Hail Mary transmission service does any good for this car. So without a long intro, here we go. All right, so as you can see, we are making some progress. We have the C5 S6 up on the quick jacks, locked in position, and we're about ready to start tearing into the transmission on this thing. Take the pan off, see what we've got inside there. But yeah, we've been doing all sorts of fun things here. Got the oil changed on the S8 and on the 04 S line, and still have to do the other A6, the C7, and the C4 also needs an oil change. So those two blues still need it, but got everything else done. This one we're gonna do trans service here in just a minute, oil change, and we got Benjamin is already under there doing some preliminary inspection. And upon looking at the history of this car, it looks like it was in Santa Barbara, California from 2006 until about 2015. So that explains why it's not all rusty crusty like a lot of the other Midwest examples that I've seen. Okay, so over an hour later, we got the car back on the quick jack. What we discovered was it was shifting, and these use pinch welds for jack points, which just suck. And so we have to double the blocks, and they were kind of shifting over, and that just didn't look safe. So we put it down, re-jockeyed things, measured everything meticulously, front to back, left to right, all that, and then we finally got it to go happy here. And I do remember messing around with that on the silver A6 as well. It was a little bit of a faff getting that one on there too. So we're back. We are draining the transmission fluid. It is quite dirty, and we're getting ready to start pulling the pan here. So we'll take a look at that. Okay, we are under the car with Ben, who has just pulled the pan off for me. And he said, I can't even see where they are actually.
They're up there.
The video, but we're gonna clean out the fluid and take a look at the, see what kind of fuzzy sweaters our magnets have. But there is the filter, so that's gonna come out next, and then we're gonna pull that valve body out and have a look at that. But so far, he did get a glimpse of the magnets in the pan, and he said they are wearing fuzzy sweaters. So,
I mean, there's
his interpretation was this trans is what?
it's borked.
It's borked, technical term. All right, well, let's keep going here. All right, here we got the pan behind the car here. You can see we do have some fuzzy sweater action. That's not actually insane. I've seen that before, but there's some shimmery. Yeah. That there's just a fine powder of glitter in all of this, and that doesn't look so hot.
Like I said, borked.
Yeah, so I'm gonna clean this up really good, and we're gonna pretend we didn't see that, and just we'll send it. And we got the pan cleaned out, and Ben continues working. He's got the filter out. He's removing the valve body currently.
Most of it's
all right. Situation update. We are at the point of almost removing the front part of the valve body here, right up there. You can see it's loose. It's probably stuck on this little shift linkage thing on the side.
I can see some.
And it is pissing everywhere.
It's not enjoyable, I'll tell you that much.
Now the reason, so if you watched the previous video, you saw Ben in that working on his 04, which was the 5HP19. And you've been under the S8 as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So he's getting good with these ZF
Sadly.
transmissions. And yeah, he's got some interesting hairdo due to gravity here. It's kind of funny. But yeah, we're just about at the point this thing's just peeing like crazy, so we're just letting it drain a bit, and then we're gonna hopefully get this out of here. And we'll see if it has any bore wear in that pressure piston where that TransGo valve would be installed. Okay, so you can see Ben has the valve body in his hand. It was sticking a little bit, and then would you say it was stuck on the corner?
So there's that rod that enters
right
this
there.
hole right there.
Okay, so there's a hole on that end right there that goes to that rod. Okay, and it's gonna continue to pee ATF here for a while, but we're gonna get this valve body out, and then we gotta take off the little end cap here to get out the appropriate spaces so we can put the TransGo in this thing. Not that it will help, but we'll see. Okay, so I've got the valve body out here on 2 clean towels, and this is effectively, I believe, the piston where the TransGo valve goes, if I remember correctly. But oh, sorry, you didn't see that, but I think it's right here. I'm going to get this ready, and I'm going to keep this covered. I don't want anything going in here, so I'm just going to keep a towel neatly over the top of this at all times. And then we're going to loosen this end here. And keep in mind, this is spring loaded. It's got a fair amount of tension, so you're going to want to keep a good hold on this as you loosen these, and then just very gently let it come out, because you don't want all the pieces flying everywhere. Okay, we have the end off, and I'm basically, when I released this, I just had my thumb on here really firmly, left that one bolt to the end and took that one out. And it's going to push hard against your thumb, so don't let this go flying. So these are all intact. This is the bore in question where we're going to install our TransGo valve with the big spring here. Just brought a bunch of goop out with it, and there's actually a little piston in there. I need to get a flat bait screwdriver and help it out from above here, so I'll do that. So interesting development. I pull this out and I see a red spring, and this looks mighty familiar. I'm pretty sure this already has a TransGo valve in it, so that's not a good sign for me. Somebody has already tried this. All right, confirmation. Valve that came out of my valve body in the spring. The red spring is a clue. Here we have the red spring, and this just came out of the freezer. That's the new TransGo valve. You can see it is identical to this one. So yeah, that is a match. This one already has a TransGo in it, which is not ideal. Not ideal at all. So we're just going to put this back together and button it up and send it. Okay, update. We are putting the valve body back in. Since it already has a TransGo valve, there's no point in us putting a different one in. And the key point to remember here is to make sure you get your shift selector attached properly in the corner there. Put the car, go up and test that you can shift out of park and have all your gear selections. Don't start the car, just kind of put it on an accessory and shift through. We learned that one the hard way after we reassembled Ben's car, and we had to dump the fluid all over again. So we didn't make that mistake twice. Okay, so it's the day after the carnage that was the transmission fluid and filter change. And yeah, opening up that valve body and discovering that there was a TransGo valve already in there, it gives me questions. So I'm curious if it had been in there for a long time and this trans eventually failed even with that valve, or more than likely, I think it was done in response to a transmission that was probably starting to show symptoms of failure. And so it was probably a Hail Mary, kind of the Hail Mary I planned on doing here just to see what happened, because we had fluid, filter, etc. at my disposal. Why not give it a shot for science, as they say. And like I'd mentioned, I really had no real thought that this was going to work, to be honest, but I wanted to see what was in there. I was kind of curious what the glitter show was going to look like, and especially if the valve body itself had cracks or anything like that, because that was also an issue that these could have. But it seemed okay. Harness, etc. seems okay. So basically it's just the kind of classic symptoms of A drum / clutch failure, etc. within the Auto Trans. And the quote I had to have it rebuilt locally was between $7,500 and $9,000. So that is absolutely not worth it for this car, and that's why a lot of these get basically totaled. It's just not worth the expense. And talking to the guy, Jim at TSI in Golden Valley for transmission stuff, I mean, awesome guy. He's clearly an Audi guy. He's at 2 C5 All-Roads and an A642. Knew his stuff, knew all the failure modes of these things, and said essentially the same thing. Like, it totals a lot of otherwise good cars. So my plan from here on out is actually to convert this one to a 5-speed manual. And yes, I did say 5-speed. The 01E 5-speed and 6-speed manuals are basically the same final drive, unless you get the TDI box, and that's pretty expensive and harder to come by over here. And so I don't think this car is really worth that sort of investment. I just want to make it into a driver that we can keep on the road, because it is super clean. Like I said, in the records I discovered, it was in like Santa Barbara, California, I think from like 06 to 15 or something like that. So it's not rusty underneath at all. This car is really clean, but it needs some more paint and that sort of thing. And so to make it a pristine example, it's going to take a fair amount of work, and I just don't think it's fiscally worth that with 178,000 miles on the clock. So we're going to save it. We'll make it back into a driver is the plan, and hopefully I can find a late S6 gearbox, which had the improved first gear. It can handle the V8 torque a little better that way, and it will be just fine. You know, like I said, same final drive on the highway then with the 6-speed. So basically a huge savings financially in the gearbox side of things. Well, I shouldn't say huge. Not 01E 6-speeds aren't that expensive, but finding a good one is trickier, because a lot of them have been heavily abused by let's just say some more enthusiastic owners that drive their cars hard. And so like shift collars, like synchros, you know, the 1-2 shift, like they have some issues when they get beat on. And so without having a guarantee that I knew I was getting a good box from a known car, I'm far more confident going for the 5-speed variant from an S6, because most of those cars weren't heavily tuned or abused. I mean, they get sometimes abused, but that box will take quite a bit and be fine. So that's what we're going to go for. We're going to do that. I've got a friend that has drive shaft and some other components I already need, so I'm going to see what I need to still round up here, and we will hopefully get this ball rolling. I'm not exactly sure on a timeline on when I'll have everything together and when it can go over to, I'm going to have a local shop do this for me, somebody that's done a number of these before, and I've already been bouncing messages with him talking about this, and so we've got kind of a ballpark idea of what it may cost to do, etc. So that's where we're at, and that's where we're going to leave it for now. Again, thank you for watching, and I'm going to enjoy this last warm day here in Minneapolis. We're going to be in the mid-50s Fahrenheit today, so that will be pretty decent. And then it gets cold and there's a chance for a snowstorm. So welcome to Minnesota. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.